Hello students, this is a quick help video on unit rate. This is a 7th grade topic typically, but you could be studying this in any of the middle grades. So unit rate is basically the price for one. So if you go and you buy 5 apples and you pay $10, then the unit rate would be how much one apple cost. So this is just a quick little example here. Find the unit rate. 12 passengers are in 3 cars. So how many passengers are in each car? That's what it's asking us here. It's asking us how many are in one car. So again, unit rate is how much, usually it's a price, but it doesn't have to be, how much for one of something, because the unit part, that's one thing, 1 mile, 1 ounce, 1 pound, 1 car, 1 whatever. And so when we're asking for the unit rate, we're asking for how much for one or how many in one. So that's basically what unit rate means. So if we were finding the unit rate here, 12 passengers in 3 cars, what we want to know is how many passengers per one car. And typically it is just a division problem. We're going to take 12 and we're going to divide it by 3. 12 divided by 3 would be 4. So there would be 4 passengers in each car. And that's usually the only thing you have to do is just divide. Sometimes we will use proportions to solve these, but for unit rate, because we're only trying to find out how many for one, we usually just divide one number by the other. You just need to know which one to divide by which number. Let's look at another just really short problem here. Find the unit rate. 87 slices. So we have 3 cakes, and we can get 87 slices of cake from 3 cakes. So they want to know how many slices are in each cake. So what we would do is we would take the 87 and we would divide it by 3, fraction. And what we're looking for is how many are in one. Now, we're not going to go into proportions and solving these proportions, but this is basically how you think about it. If there are 87 in 3, how many are in 1? And of course, if we don't know what 87 divided by 3 is, we can go up here and we can do some division. We can use our calculator, or we can say, what's 3 into 87? Well, 3 into 8 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. Subtract here. Bring down that 7. 3 into 27 is 9. So my answer, 9 times 3, 27. I got 0 there. So my answer is 29 slices per cake. Just a couple illustrations of what unit rate might look like. I wanted to show you this. This is actually a snippet from a grocery store, online ordering from a grocery store. And what I wanted to show you is that we have 2 different types of juice here. We have cranberry juice and we have orange juice here. And at first glance, it actually looks like the orange juice is a better deal, because if you look at it, you see that the orange juice costs $2.98 and this cranberry juice costs $5.28. So it looks like the orange juice is a better deal. But what you will see a lot of times on grocery store ads when you're shopping is you will see the unit rate. The unit rate for these 2 different bottles of juice is right here, 5.2 cents per fluid ounce. So per ounce is the unit rate we get on this. And over here, it's 5.7 cents per fluid ounce. Well, why in the world are they different unit rates? And why is it that the cranberry is less than the orange? Because if you look down here a little bit lower, you see that this is 101 ounces of cranberry juice and it's only 52 ounces of orange juice. So what they did was they divided the $5.28 divided by the 101.4. 528 divided by the 101.4, and they got this 5.2. Same thing over here, the 298 divided by the 52 ounces would give us 5.7 cents per ounce. So the cranberry juice is actually a better deal. It ends up being a better deal because it has a lower unit rate. It's less per ounce than the orange juice. So that's something that that's very useful in real life. You look, you go into the grocery store and you usually see these things. Like for eggs, for example, you might see, 20 cents per egg, or you might see something per pound. That happens a lot with meat, with our meats that we buy. I might want to buy a hamburger and I want to know, well, is it 3.50 per pound or is it 2.88 per pound? And usually I want the 2.88 per pound because it's less. So I might buy a bigger package of hamburger because it's less per pound. So that's really what unit rate is when we're talking about in terms of what something costs. It's the price per one of whatever units we're talking about. So again, it might be ounces, it might be pounds, it might be per item. In the video, I did want to show you one more example of where you might see a unit rate, and that is when you're talking about cars. Now, this is one of those stickers that you see when you go to buy a car. So this right here, the 26 is what I want you to look at. 26 miles per gallon. This MPG is miles per 1 gallon. What that means is that's how many miles you could go on 1 gallon of gas. And I wanted to show you an example of that. So let's say you and a friend are going to drive from Charlotte to Durham. Charlotte to Durham is about 150 miles, give or take. So you're each in your car, and let's say this is your car. Let's say car number 1 is yours and car number 2 is your friend. And let's say your car uses 5 gallons of gas to go on that trip from Charlotte to Durham. And then your friend's car uses, let's say, 10 gallons of gas. Well, what we want to know is which one of you is getting better fuel mileage. Well, if you take that 150 miles, let's do pink over here for yours, the 150 miles divided by the number of gallons of gas, well, if you only used 5 gallons of gas, that is 30 miles per gallon. In other words, MPG, that's what you're going to see, MPG. So that's per 1 gallon. So you're going to go 30 miles per 1 gallon. Your friend, on the other hand, is only going to go 15 miles per gallon. So which one of you has the better car as far as how many miles you can go per gallon? Well, that would be you. That would be this car over here, because you used less fuel to go the same number of miles. Your car gets 30 miles a gallon. Your friend's car only gets 15 miles per gallon. So those are just a few examples of what unit rate might look like in real life. At miles per gallon for a car, in other words, how many miles can you go on 1 gallon of gas? We looked at unit rates in a grocery store, and then we did a couple simple examples here of unit rate. So in a later video, we will be actually calculating unit rates. We calculated a few, but we did some really easy ones. We will be calculating unit rates in our next video.